Hello, it's me. We're starting to be live here at. I'm not even entirely sure what YouTube channel this is on. Is it youtube.com/complexly? Maybe that seems like where I would have put it. And I'm trying, but I wanted to open up so I could see the chat, but I don't see it live. This button, it's not there. It's somewhere else. I'm gonna ask somebody on Slack. It's the trivia extravaganza. Oh, I got a link. Oh, lovely, a link. And it's just me typing. Hello, 135 of you. It's on Bizarre Beasts. Of course it is. And I'm going to tweet it out because I might as well. And you're going to sit here and wait while I do this. Hey, it's trivia time. If you got the trivia perk for the Learnathon, your link to the actual trivia is in your email. Okay, great. I'm so glad that you were there for that, everybody. So what we're doing, if you haven't signed up for this, you can watch, but you cannot participate. If you participate, you can win 1, store gift cards. 2, we'll also send you a Garfield. I don't know if you know this, but I have a lot of vintage Garfields. Here is one. This is Garfield skiing, which does not seem like a thing that Garfield would do, but this is what he looks like on the front. This will be the grand prize Garfield. Unfortunately, I'm aware that this is a rarer Garfield, which isn't something I should know. Well, second and third prize will receive these identical, less rare Garfields. This one was apparently a $1.1, but that's not what I paid for it. I paid more. That looks like a garage sale sign. But somebody got it at the garage sale and then resold it to me for more than that on eBay. But I give Garfields to people. That's one of the things that I do. And I was just noticing I'm running a little low. And so I spent the prep time for this preparing, but also buying more Garfields on eBay. So if you'd like to go buy a Garfield on eBay right now, you basically can't. I've got them all, except for the ones that, in my opinion, were overpriced. I try not to care too much about the rarity of the Garfields because I feel like that turns me into the kind of person I would rather not be. But you do get a Garfield. And the first place person will get a rarer Garfield in addition to a $100 gift card to Complexly.store, where you can get whatever, anything you want. But you can also donate now, I think at Complexly.com/Learnathon. We will send you an email right now that will allow you to participate in the trivia, which will be starting quite soon. Once we start the trivia, we will close that down and get rid of that perk so that people aren't paying for something that they can't use, because you'll get a link to a place where you will get to be involved in the actual trivia. And then the winners can email us and we'll send you your gift cards. And yes, I did single-handedly ruin the Garfield eBay economy. It happens about once a year. The people, if I let them know when I was going to do it, I feel like they would absolutely gouge me. But this way, I don't like to pay more than like $6 per Garfield because I buy a lot of them. But I do buy basically at any given moment, I got a really good deal on some of them actually just now, but on others, not so much. Also, I found out that Funko Soda made a Garfield soda at some point, and I could buy that and see if it still is food. I don't know when that happened, but I can't imagine it was recently. Because despite the fact that Garfield has had a surprisingly long life in popular culture, this one comes with a figurine. I don't know. It comes with a figurine. It's only $10. Oh, God. Okay. The trivia link is now turned off, which means that we can play trivia. We can actually do the trivia thing, which we're going to do, everybody. These trivia questions will be questions that you could have learned in Complexly content, except for the last ones, which you would maybe have learned in Hank Green content. So But the majority will be Complexly content, and we are going to get started. But go to the link in your email, click on it, sign up for a Kahoot account. Sorry that you have to do that part. Sign up for that Kahoot account, and then what happens? It looks like people are those are still coming in. And then you scan the QR code with your phone, and then you can play the game by pushing which button you think the correct answer is. And then I think it will rank you by how well you're doing. I have only done this with one other person in the Kahoot so far. That was my testing. We're sending out some final emails right now, so it's not quite turned on. So we can't quite start until the last people have been invited in to the room. Do I have my link? No. There will be a QR code I think there's a QR code. Maybe I made up the QR code. There is a code that you can type in. It asks for okay. You're alone in there? Wait, my phone? Yeah. Maybe I shouldn't talk out of turn, but that's how I understand that it works.
Everything is great. People should all have the link. Everybody was emailed the link, and that link has the code embedded in it. And you're doing great.
The link has the code embedded in it. Thank you, Laser. So you didn't
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay. Thank you, Laser. Laser will be shipping out your Garfields. All right, here it is. It's all of your names. Oh, people are still coming in. All right, keep logging in. In the meantime, because people are still clearly joining, I will do a dance. I can't. There's nothing more I can tell you about Garfields. I can tell you that the Complexly Learnathon has been going really well. I appreciate everybody for their donations. We are now at $62,000 of our $50,000 goal. So thank you so much for joining, being a part of the work that we do. And thank you so much to everybody at Complexly who's been having a great time this couple of weeks. And also for all of the time that people have spent at Complexly just making wonderful things happen, doing the work, because good information is worth it, as the shirt says. You can still donate at complexly.com/learnathon. I have spent the last couple of weeks frantically making content, because if you make more content, there's more opportunities to talk about the Learnathon. And so Hank's channel has 3 videos this week. I've got another one that's ready to go up, though I think that will obviously not be a Learnathon video. You guys, Winston, welcome to the show, Winston. I know it takes a little second to sign up for Kahoot, so I'm not gonna. All right, I'm gonna count to 5. 1, 2. No Peck Dogs. Lost in LA. Maggie's here. Deej is here. Angie's here. Those ones are just alphabetical now. No, they're not. Sonia, welcome. Hannah with an H. I hope you got somebody. I know that somebody out there right now is just feverishly trying to get logged into Kahoot. Anonymous. Okay. Man, they're still joining. You guys are doing great. Kahoot at work. I don't know why this is Kahoot at work, but it is. We are at work right now, everybody together.
I think we can go ahead and get started if you want.
Okay, I believe you.
It's up to you.
Well, there's these people there. Oh, Laser disappeared again. It's up to me. I don't know. I thought maybe I had my guitar, but I don't. You want to see a picture of me from high school? There I am, Sweet 16. Just slouching. I've always been. I'm so tall, and I don't want people to know, wow, Kahoot just did something fun. How are you people all getting in still? I guess people are, look, okay, it's 12:11. We got to get going. I feel bad, though. This is the thing. We've got 117 people in here. Okay.
They can still join after the game
They
starts.
can still, okay. Well, they can, but they're not going to win because they won't have gotten all the things. But that seems like a good time. Olivia and Grace are here. They were the ones I was waiting for. I don't care about Anonymous, but they're here as well. And also H Lane and Code Life CL. I don't care about you. I was really just waiting for Olivia and Grace. Let's get started. I do actually. Thank you. It's Kahoot at work. Are you guys at work? You might be. I wouldn't be surprised. I am. All right, here's our first question, everybody. It's a quiz. So what are the Hyrax's closest relatives? There's a picture of the Hyrax there. They're cute little furry potatoes. Is it bats or tapirs or anteaters or elephants? And Laser's doing something right now. I don't know what. Oh, okay, the answers are coming in. Oh, okay, but type fast. I don't know. Maybe we did something wrong there for a second. Maybe not everybody got the, elephants won. And that is indeed the right answer. As if you guys have been watching Bizarre Beasts. These first questions are coming from Bizarre Beasts, which is our YouTube show. And yes, Hyraxes are not rodents. They look like rodents. So you might think that they were related to tapirs or something. But woo, it's just me now. But they convergently evolved upon that form. They also convergently evolved, interestingly, on chewing cud. So they're ruminants, but they are not ruminants. You know, they do that feeding strategy where they eat and then they digest a little bit and then they re-chew stuff from their stomachs and then swallow it again. In order to get all of the nutrients out of their grazing lifestyle, which is also elephants also live in that grazing lifestyle. It's amazing that you can build a whole elephant out of grass. All right. Question number 2. Oh, we also see who's first. Taylor, well done. Sliding in getting in mere moments. You do get more points for answering more quickly, which makes it so that there will be no ties. All right. Good job, Taylor. Quiz. Why can't yellow eels reproduce? Because they haven't grown up yet? Because they don't actually exist? Because yellow eels are sterile hybrids? Or because all yellow eels are boys and all blue eels are girls? All right. So we got over 100 answers. Good tapping, everybody. Well tapped. The answer is they haven't grown up yet. We thought maybe they were sterile hybrids, but in fact, they are just like a larval form, even though they are large. And this was you may have heard somewhat of a science communication meme. We don't know where eels come from, but in fact, we do now know where eels come from. We didn't for a while, though, because we looked at yellow eels and they didn't have ways to make babies on the inside of them. But it turns out that that's just not the mature form of the eel. And they have to go through some sort of mild metamorphosis to get up there and do that thing. Andy now is first. Wow, that really turned everything on its head. Good job, Andy. Welcome the beans to the top 3, and also Danim and RMS Dina. RMS, like Her Majesty's Royal Ship, the Royal Majesty's Ship Dina, and Jared Caprell. All right. Congratulations, Andy, on being first. It's going to keep getting mixed up here in the beginning, I'm pretty sure. All right. Up 18 places. Micah was the highest climber. Pumpkin toadlets. They're brightly colored calls. What's unusual about their mating call? I don't know if I said frogs or something else. It can only be heard underwater. It's an imitation of a bird's call. It is completely unique for each individual frog, where they cannot hear their own calls. If you're watching Bizarre Beasts enough, you know the answer to this one, and that these little toads are completely useless. They're so bad at everything. They can't even jump properly. And in addition, they are unable to hear the calls that they make. Good job, everybody. You watched that episode. It was a popular one. And they are ridiculous little frogs that are so bad at stuff. I love them, though. Who wouldn't love them? I have maybe another. They have fluorescent bones as well. Oh, the beans! The beans! And Andy and Ryan, it's always, Andy and Ryan, it's always a little bit tricky to have a couple of people working together. Might slow you down a bit, but Maggie just hit a 3-answer streak. Answer streak 3, but Maggie's not even in the top 5. Congratulations to Josie and Dina and Indie Mom. for your place in the top 5 as well. Armastina managed to stay in 4th, which is wild in a field of over 100. Okay. What else we got going on? Another quiz question. How was starfish overpopulation controlled? The crown of thorns starfish, they're bad. They eat coral reefs. How do we control them? With do we dye the water to blind them? Did manatees start eating them? Did humans train robots to destroy them? Or did they release a starfish cookbook so people would go grab them and make delicious sushi delights from the starfish? A couple of people did fall for my released a starfish cookbook answer, which does make me happy because I like that answer. That is a strategy that has been used before to try and control invasive species, to be like, you can eat these, so go get them. But no, we trained robots to identify and destroy them. They have a little injector on them. They swim down, they stick them, and they inject poison into them. The beans still maintaining the success, up 38 places. C. Harris is the highest climber, though. Also, welcome Josie and Cass to the top 5. You never know what can happen. You really, at this stage, you just get one wrong and you're all the way down to the bottom. But look, we got 30 questions in this trivia game. So don't think that it's all done now. The thing that they injected into the starfish was sheep bile, which I don't know. Like, I guess it's organic at least. But yeah, sheep bile kills starfish. So that's in your head now. And if you ever need to kill a starfish and you have a sheep, you can make that happen. Question number next. What's the difference between a grasshopper and a locust? When there's a whole lot of grasshoppers, they become locusts. They actually have the same DNA. They have completely different coloring, or all of the above. Now, all of the above is a tricky situation here because maybe you clicked too fast. Or maybe not. Maybe it is just one of those. Now I feel like I give it away. It is, in fact, all of the above. But a lot of people read that first one and they were like, that's it. But then they didn't wait. That seems mean. But 68 of you did get it. Congratulations to them. Let's see if it shook it up. The beans is down at 5. Got that one wrong or got it slow. I don't know. But Andy and Ryan is now at the top. And Andy, a different Andy, that's what we call him. A different Andy or them is now second. Matthew and Maggie, Maggie and Andy all feel like they're new to the leaderboard to me. So congratulations to y'all. I said it could get mixed up. It's going to keep getting mixed up. 9 players just hit their streak 3. But we're going to find out more stuff. This time we're moving on, I think, to SciShow videos. So stuff that you could have learned in SciShow. Why are some Chernobyl boars radioactive while other animals around Chernobyl are not anymore? Is it because of pre-Chernobyl radiation, because they consumed the ooze, or because they're the only animals that live long enough, or they eat trees that are naturally radioactive? I don't know. Could be any of those. Seems like, I bet this is going to be even across the top. No, more people went with they're the only animals long-lived, and also they eat trees. But in fact, it's because of pre-Chernobyl radiation. So most fauna in the Chernobyl exclusion zone are no longer radioactive, but the boars are, and this is a real reason. They eat mushrooms that contain traces of elements that were spilled by experiments before the Chernobyl disaster. So they were doing stuff there, and they released some toxins into the compounds into the environment. And the mushrooms are really good at sucking that up, and the boars eat the mushrooms. So they're actually being poisoned by pre-explosion waste. But they're okay mostly, it seems. We were really confused by that for a long time, though. It's like, why are these boars so good at this? All right, Andy and Ryan got that one and remain on top. The beans is back. But we got Regine and Josie now heading up. Alegna also rose 37 places on that one. Congratulations. I don't know what the rest of the leaderboard looks like. You're just going to have to guess about where you are right now. All right. We got a lot of questions, though, to do. Why is my hair curly now? You know, this is from SciShow. Is it because of a very cool perm trend I found on TikTok, or because cancer changes your hair, or because it's always been curly, or because cancer treatment messes with your hair follicles? Which one? Which one? Which one? Oh, we have 6 seconds, but you guys still, has anybody not, that was good clicking, everybody. That was fast clicks. Yes, a couple of people says cancer changes your hair, but it's actually the cancer treatment that changes your hair. I'm sorry that felt like a trick question to you, but it didn't to 63 of you. 63? 83. I can't see well. Couldn't have been 63. That wouldn't make any sense. Yeah, we don't really know why. It's we did a whole SciShow episode about it. We did a lot of research. A lot of people have said a lot of reasons. This is a thing that happens in science communication. If there's a common question that we don't have an answer to, you get an answer anyway, and that answer sort of just sticks around for a while. But then if you like actually do some primary research, you find that nobody actually knows why. And that's the situation with the hair follicles. We simply, like, we barely know why hair is curly at all. It's just not something that people research very much. All right. Question next. Oh, no, yes, we have to. Oh, Maggie's in first. Andy and Ryan dropped the ball on that one. Probably said that it was the cancer that caused it. Cass Phone and Finvara. Why is that word familiar to me? What is that from? Oh my God. Someone's gonna have to explain to me what Finvara is, because I feel like I know what that is, but I have forgotten. So I now have to open up the chat and look. Kahoot's razzing me, telling me I could do better. 77th place with only 3 questions. Oh, you guys know what place you're in. Okay, good. So what is Finvara, everybody? Why do I know that word? Why do I know that? Somebody's got to know. You guys have... Anyway, beans are gone. If I can't be on the board, I want beans up there. Benedict Cumberbatch apparently not on the board, unfortunately. All right, I'm going to come back and look and figure out. Somebody's got to know the answer to this. Mystical Irish King. But there's a reason why I saw that word recently. Nope. Nope. Okay. I don't know. There's something. Anyway, let's go to the next question. When were contact lenses invented? Was it the early 1800s, the mid 1800s, the early 1900s, or the mid 1900s? It wasn't the late 1800s or the late 1900s. It was either the early or the mid of one of those 2 centuries. Put them on your eyeball. You'd probably think that it would be a little later than it in fact was. So you might think the mid 1800s, but no, they were first invented, not very practical, but they did work in the early 1800s. Oh, that was, see, more of that eyeball. And and then they're sort of like, another version of them happened in the late 1800s. And then by the mid 1900s, there was actually like practical contact lenses. But there were people putting glass on their eyes in the early 1800s and using them for like short periods of time because they were very uncomfortable. Ooh, Zathu's on top now. Congratulations. And it's nice to see Danim, who has the highest answer streak of 4. All right. Nobody's got all of them, everybody. Keep that in mind. There's nobody in the room who's perfect. Zathu's on top. Maggie, the beans is back up there for Benedict Cumberbatch and also Danim. Let's look back at the chat and see if anybody can tell me what Finvara comes from, because it Finvara has too. Might just be their name. Maybe it's just a name I saw. This is weird because now I'm like losing it and I'm like, it's further away than it used to be. Nobody's perfect other than me. That's right. I know all the answers. I'm like the Alex Trebek of this room. He's always right because he's got them written down right beside him. Do I have, yes. All right. Next question, everybody. What was the sharpest object used for, or is it currently? Is it industrial bread cutting to identify positions of individual atoms to inject directly into individual atoms, or it's just a theory that somebody had in the 80s? It's not even real. It's just a theory somebody had. I'd like to think that it's for industrial bread cutting, but it's not. It is indeed to identify the positions of individual atoms, which is a hard one to get. So I feel like a lot of you watched that video. We do have things that can inject directly into individual cells, and those needles are very small and very sharp. But the actual sharpest thing is a tungsten nanoneedle that was created at the University of Alberta, and it did win a Guinness record. But even though there is not one consistent scientific definition of sharp is a messy idea. It cannot stab or cut through anything. It is too delicate because it comes down to a fine point of a single atom, and it's used to identify map the locations of individual atoms by using a tiny electric charge. Neat. You watch our episode on the sharpest thing in the universe on SciShow any old time. It's very good. What do we got? Well, Zathu staying on top, but Regine has moved in we got some quick clickers is the situation we're in here. Congratulations to all those quick clickers. Quiz. How did the first liquid mirror telescope work? By spinning with carefully aligned magnets, by using a perfectly saucer-shaped dish, or this was just a theory somebody had in the 80s? Not a real thing. That can't be a liquid mirror telescope? Nah. Or is it one of those other things? All right. By spinning. Oh, another killer question here. By spinning, indeed, it was a big plate of mercury, and then if you spin it, centripetal force pushes some of the mercury out into a perfect parabola, which becomes a lovely little lens. Carefully aligning the magnets be way too hard. And if you had a perfectly saucer-shaped dish, you might as well just coat that in some selectively, some nice reflective mirror property stuff, and then have yourself a good mirror. But this way, it's really like a perfect mirror that is made very easily, unless there's an earthquake or something. You have to be very still around this thing so that you can take good pictures of the stars. Oh, Zathu's staying on top. Zathu, you're opening up a bit of a lead between you and third, so that's good. Danum and Micah and Beans, good job, everybody. The OK Gatsby was our highest gainer. How do we know that giant ground sloths helped disperse avocado seeds? Is it because avocado seeds were found in sloth fossil poops? Because we found avocado skin in the teeth of fossil sloths? Because sloths were the only fruit eaters during the time avocados developed? Or because this is just a theory that somebody had in the 80s? Which would it be? Which could it be? Did you watch the episode on sloths? Avocado... No, you didn't watch the episode. It was just a theory somebody had in the 80s. And then many years ago, SciShow made a video about this, stating the theory that somebody had in the 80s as fact. But then more recent research has come out that, in fact, it does not look like that's what they were for. So we look at them at big old avocados and thinks, who's going to swallow a seed that big? It must be the giant ground sloths that also lived in South America. But it turns out probably avocados have super big seeds because they were bred by humans to be super big, and the seed got bigger along with that process. As the fleshy, tasty part got bigger, so did the seed. But Beans knew the answer to that one. Looks like Zathu maybe didn't or just clicked slow, but is still in the top 5. Congratulations, Zathu. But Danum now has 7 answers in a row. But it looks like Danum is probably a SciShow fan, got all the SciShow questions right. But we only have one more SciShow question before we move on to, well, maybe 2. But let's see what this one is. What is sternutation? Is sternutation the embryonic development of the torso? Is it sneezing? Is it the deconstruction of ships? Or is it convergent evolution into crabs? sternutation. Which one is it? All those things are things that probably have words for them. It is not the embryonic development of the torso that it sounds like it would be. It is, in fact, sneezing, which most people got. And the convergent evolution into crabs, that's carcinization is what you were thinking of. And I did put that in there just to trick you. I'm sorry. So, but how does that affect things? Oof, the beans is still on top. Benedict Cumberbatch is now also on top. Congratulations, Benedict. You've trundled your way up. 4 players now have an answer streak of 3, but we did break that 7 answer streak, it looks like. I'm just guessing. And Anduin and Benedict both moved up. Congrats. Our top 3 here is looking a little bit solid, though. We got a long way to go. And I think now we're going to move into some news show questions. Some questions that come from our shows that are new. So SciShow is not going to help you here. Tuberculosis has had many names over the years. Which of these wasn't one of them? White plague, the king's cough, consumption, or phthis? Phthis. A ridiculous word, everyone, a ridiculous word. The convergence of the beans. It's a beanvasion. Sternutation is never normal. I never sternutate. Is this Jeopardy? Oh, Benedict Cumberbatch feels like they got this one wrong. It's the king's cough. I made that up. It's called like the king's something, and then it's also called like the green cough or something. So I just mixed those two together. But it's not the king's cough. Oh, people didn't. Oh yeah, the white plague is a real one, and so phthis is what we called it for ages. But yeah, the white plague. It's definitely called consumption. Oh, the beans is still on top, but we've lost Benedict Cumberbatch in favor of Josie. Welcome to the top, Josie. Good to see you. And after this, I hope everybody joins me in going down the street to the closest place for a treat and getting a little treat. That's what I'm going to do. What's in my pocket? Dramamine for kids. Seems like I was wearing this coat on a plane trip with my son at some point recently. Once we get to Eon's, Hannah says, I'm going to do really well. We do have an Eon section, so I'm glad that we have that for Hannah. All right, next question. Is there more matter or antimatter in the universe? Oh, sorry. There is more matter than antimatter in the universe. True or false? So this is Crash Course the Universe is where we're heading into now. With a little bit of tuberculosis, a little bit of Crash Course the Universe. More matter than antimatter. Oh, they're pretty equal. It is in fact true. There is more matter than antimatter in the universe. Thankfully, otherwise, it'd be an anti-universe. Let's see how that mixed things up. Woof! Benedict Cumberbatch is back in it. Anduin moves up. The beans now breaks 10,000 because it's a beanvasion. Up 20 places, Stacy is the highest climber. Congratulations, Stacy. That's a big jump. All right, next question. I think that this is going to be another tuberculosis one. No. Dark matter does not interact with the electromagnetic forces, which means that it has negative temperature, it has no mass, it can't touch anything, including itself, or it has infinite mass. Which could it be? Am I trying to trick you? And will the beanvasion continue? Important questions to be answered. It can't touch anything, including itself. It does have mass. Matter is defined as having mass. It's very strange. You know, I sometimes think about what would happen if I had some dark matter in my mouth. What would it feel like? The answer is it would feel like nothing. But regardless of that, it would be drawn through the bottom of my mouth and then through whatever is below me down into the middle of the earth. but then it would just keep going because nothing would stop it. But it would be drawn toward, and it would just sort of like bounce back and forth around the middle of the earth all the time because it can't touch stuff, which we don't. It's very weird that what we think of as magnetism and electricity actually also is the reason that things touch each other, because the forces. And so without the forces, it just passes through it. If you had some dark matter in your mouth, you'd have no idea about it. It just dropped down out of the bottom of your jaw and then into the ground. And that's why it's so hard to find, because it doesn't interact with anything. The beans knew that, though, and is now solidifying quite a lead. But Benedict Cumberbatch also coming for that top 3 slot. Nice to see the little prinks. And Zathu's back. Zathu fighting your way back into the top 5. Congratulations. I don't know who has our top streak right now, but let's see what else we got with some more current news shows. Double points. Which of these weighs the least? I didn't know I did this. An electron, a proton, a muon, or a photon? Which of these weighs the least? Good clicks. Fast clicks, everybody. Came in quick on that one. All right. 3 seconds left. I hope I made the right. Yes, I did. It is a photon. They weigh nothing. They have no mass. And yet somehow they have momentum, which is very upsetting to me. They are massless, but they can have momentum because they have energy, and that apparently can convey momentum. You were correct that of the massed particles here, muons are the lightest. And then the graph is correct. So the proton has the most mass, followed by electron, then muon, then photon. So together, we even ordered them correctly. Good job, everyone. And let's see, add that to the rankings. Ooh, the beans moves down, and Benedict Cumberbatch has taken over second place. Oh, the beanstorm is storming. Now everybody's over 10,000. Cass is back. Nice to see you back in the top 5, Cass. Doing well. Regine says, since they have no mass, they do not experience time. That's upsetting, Regine. What do you mean? I mean, I wrote about that in a song, so I am aware of it, but it is upsetting. Just because I wrote about it doesn't mean I know what it means. They're traveling light. That's all. I'm writing it down. I have a new idea for a show, and that's gonna take part in it. What is this? Oh, they're traveling light. I love it. I have definitely made that joke on DHJ, maybe, but this is for a separate thing that I'm also excited about. That I'm not gonna. I am an attractive nuisance. That's what they say. All right, that one's for the pod. Okay. Next question. Multi-select. Why do some plants have caffeine? Oh, multi-select? I didn't realize this was a multi-select. I thought it was just there's 2 right answers, but I guess you have to get them both. It's a byproduct of their metabolism. It's a natural pesticide to get pollinators addicted or to get humans addicted. I don't know how this works all the time. Yes, it was both a natural pesticide, and it does seem to get pollinators more interested in going to caffeinated flowers. And it also seems to make them more like increase like a bee's memory for where the flower is, which is wild to me. But it's also a natural pesticide. So if any number of small bugs eat caffeinated leaves, it paralyzes them. So, but that also has a metabolic effect on us. Now, it isn't to get humans addicted, but that has been very evolutionarily advantageous. Once plants are able to produce caffeine, they tend to proliferate more on the current earth because we grow them lots. It's not a byproduct of their metabolism, but it is close to a normal metabolic or a normal biochemical byproduct, but they do readjust the mechanisms of the biochemistry to produce it. It is not just a byproduct. And that question came from, where did that question come from? I feel like I got mixed up. That was in the wrong section. But anyway, Regine, you're now in the top. You're number one. You were already there, actually. You've been there. Anduin and Zathu, good to see you. This beanstorm with Regine on top is very exciting. Where was that from? I think it was an Eon. So maybe we're in the Eon section now. We are. We're in the Eon section now, everybody. That was an Eon's question. What's the next one? Is it also an Eon's question? We'll find out in a sec. Why is the Earth the only known planet with fire? It is an Eon's question because fire is impossible without life, because fire requires large amounts of liquid water. Other planets are too hot or too cold, or other planets don't have enough carbon dioxide, which is the answer to the question. Fiery Earth. It is in fact because fire isn't possible without life, as far as we know. Because what fire is life being unmade. That's like, it's life being unmade very quickly. So one way you can unmake life is with cellular respiration. So I take a carrot and I eat the carrot and I turn the carrot into energy and poop. That's like slow fire. But fast fire is you dehydrate the carrot. That's going to light on fire. The only things that can burn are organic things, and also organic things put a lot of oxygen in the atmosphere. So basically, fire is the reverse of photosynthesis. Photosynthesis, you take oxygen out of the atmosphere, you take carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere, and you put oxygen in, and then you put a bunch of complicated biochemical things inside of you, glucose and starches and stuff. And then the reverse of that is turning the starches into carbon dioxide. By using the oxygen from the atmosphere. So you need oxygen in the atmosphere and you need these complicated organic compounds. Fire is life in reverse. I love this fact. It's very cool. How did that change things up? Regine got it. Beans swaps with Benedict. Zathu and Cass hanging out in the bottom, just out of reach of those top three. It's tricky. Regine now has a pretty commanding lead, but there's a lot of this left. So what's the next Eon's question for this crowd? What percent of humans have tuberculosis? This was supposed to be in the other one. I knew there's one, but anyway, what percent of humans have tuberculosis? 10, 25, 50, or 75? You got to be a John Green fan. You can't be a John Green fan if you don't know the stat. And what percent of human beings have TB? It's 25%. Good job, y'all. I'm impressed. It is indeed a full 25% of people have tuberculosis. Now, for most of those people, that disease is inactive and only gets activated in times of severe stress or immune compromised situations. And that's why tuberculosis is not just a disease of tuberculosis, of bacteria. It's also a disease of culture and of other diseases and of malnutrition and HIV and all these different things that have a role to play. And if we could only get enough food to a lot of people, that would actually do a good job of controlling tuberculosis. But also, we can fight tuberculosis itself, and we should. What do we got next? Oh, Regine held on. The Beans drops down to 5th. That was a tricky one, but you still have a chance to make it up. We got 10 more questions, I think. All right, what we got? Times 2 double points. I didn't do all. This is SciShow Kids. These are all blue whale facts that are hard to believe, but only one of them is true. Which is it? They can hear each other from over 1,000 miles away. They have a heart, is what that should say, the size of a bus. They used to have sharp teeth for eating dolphins, or they actually only have one lung. Hard to believe facts about blue whales. Yes, they can hear each other. I did not believe this. I had to fact check it. From over 1,000 miles. That's a long way. Can you imagine hearing somebody? How far is 1,000 miles from my house? What is it like? I'm looking. I got to figure it out. That's like to Iowa. That's like That's like Eastern Montana to Chicago. That's not normal. But anyway, water is great, and it can carry a lot of sound waves. But in addition to that, they have a heart the size of like a small car, not a bus. They have 2 lungs. Snakes often, or only, I don't know if often or always, only have 1 lung. And they never ate dolphins, though certainly some whales do eat each other. They can and they will. Regine, staying on top. We've lost the beanstorm almost completely. The beans are gone, and Benedict also. But it's Micah and Zathu and Cass. It's familiar names up here at the top. But there's still 10 questions left for them to make a lot of mistakes. Barry is the highest climber. And what do we got next? Quiz. ×2. You never know what's going to happen. Which of these things was genetically modified by humans first, given a very loose definition of genetic modification? Was it snails, pugs, corn, or peas? I gave you a hint there in the title. Gave you a hint. Now, of course, we all know that peas played a very essential role. Woo, that's a killer question. Yeah, it was a trick question. Let's be honest with ourselves. Peas played that essential role of helping Mendel figure out some, early, not genetics, but heredity stuff. Pugs, of course, very genetically modified through breeding. Corn is actually what we genetically modified, given a strict definition of genetic modification. But snails were the first, and this was like 15,000 years ago. As far as we can tell, the first organism that we bred specifically to create a more useful form for ourselves. We did not do this with test tubes and stuff. We did it with just breeding, selective breeding, but it was apparently the first thing that we selectively bred was snails. I think this comes from a crash course video. I think we're now in crash course section. That's going to mix things up, I bet. Oh, the beans got it right and is now back on top. Exceptional work, the beans. This is a test of your knowledge, but it's also a test of how many Complexly videos and how broadly you have watched them. All right. What do we got next? Quiz. What continent has the most human genetic diversity? Is it Africa, Asia, the Americas, or Europe? This also comes from a crash course video. Some big continents. I didn't put Australia on the list or Antarctica. It is Africa. Indeed. Well done to those, whatever that number is, 59 of you. That's what I thought it was, but I didn't want to make a fool out of myself. It is Africa. It seems, because that's where people came from and where we've been the longest. So it's also a very large continent, but though it is not where most of them are. The beans got that one right. Zathu moves up. Andy moves up. Amazing work, everybody. I'm so excited to see if Benedict Cumberbatch comes back on top. Why was Mount Rushmore originally proposed? From a crash course video. To increase tourism in South Dakota, to celebrate America's presidents, to line the pockets of artisan sculptors, or just for fun? Maybe it's just for fun. I mean, it's a little bit. Everything's done a little bit just for fun. Maybe not. Actually, now that I've said it, a bunch of stuff isn't done for fun. It was indeed to just increase tourism for South Dakota. It was originally proposed not even to have the presidents on it. And I'm sure it did line the pockets of some artisan sculptors, but it was definitely not the initial intent. They wanted to get more people to go to South Dakota, and they were going to have like a big giant sculpture of some like cowboys and native people and etc. The beans got that right though. And so did Regine. And I am impressed by the solidity of the top 5 here. But Losto is our highest climber, up 9 places. Congratulations. All right. It's 12:50. Quiz. Where's the world's tallest statue? Also from the same episode of Crash Course. Is it in New York City? Is it in India, China, or Turkey? I guess I could have just said the United States, but And I did put a picture of a large statue here. It's big. It's not small, but it does make me think it's probably not that one. It is in India. Good job, everybody. If you'd asked me that question before I watched that episode, I would have said China just because they build a lot of big things for a lot of fun. But in fact, it is in India. It was, I think it is a statue of the first prime minister after the British left. It is a very big, and it's relatively, I think it was recently built, giant statue. That changed things very little at the very top. The Beans and Regine reigning supreme. And nice, Rob, back with your answer streak of 3. Good job, Rob B. Quiz. ×2, double points. There's a boundary in the Indonesian archipelago separating 2 distinct evolutionary lineages. What's it called? Is it called the Wallace line, the Darwin line, the Huxley line, or the Kelvin line? Those are all names of famous scientists. So maybe it's one of them. Well, it's definitely one of them. Hopefully I clicked on the right answer, and I'm not going to ruin this for someone. Oh, so many questions, so much chat. Yes, it was the Wallace line. You might think it was the Huxley line, but Huxley did propose a correct modification of the Wallace line, but it is still nonetheless called the Wallace line. So those people who said the Huxley line, you knew too much. Oh yeah, Brazil would have been a good one to put on the list of largest statues, because that's the I can't remember the name of it. The giant Jesus in Brazil is very big, and I think it is bigger than the Statue of Liberty, but is not. The statue in India is like almost twice as tall as the Statue of Liberty. Very big statue, very big. My phone froze. That's Cristo Redentor. That Christ the Redeemer. Yes. Go Cass! Go Cass! Sorry, one of the most popular Eons videos. All right. I'm just looking through the chat. Oh, Benedict returns. Benedict has climbed. Oh, why do mosquitoes inject you with itchy juice? This is just from my TikTok, because it keeps your blood flowing. It numbs you so you don't notice them. They don't. It's just a reaction to their proboscis, or to protect them from your immune system. All right. Ooh, good job. Yes, it keeps your blood flowing. It is an anticoagulant that they inject into you, and then you have an allergic reaction to it. So that's a bummer. But yeah, they a little bit of their saliva goes into you, and you have an allergic reaction to it. If we didn't have an allergic reaction to it, frankly, I'd be like, fine, we can share Earth, but I do. And so, well, also, if they didn't spread disease, I would accept mosquitoes. But until then, especially the ones that get us, they're just right out. The Aedes aegypti, they got to go. All right, Zathu's back in, and Benedict Cumberbatch drops again. I don't know if that's just because Zathu clicked faster or if Benedict got that wrong. But it's a hot fight here at the top, everybody. It's close, especially those top 3. We are getting close to the end as well. Oh, I've clicked on the wrong thing. There it is. Now, let's see how we go as we approach more questions that you could have learned from my TikTok. We learned that snapping turtles, ... are not reptiles, make delightful noises, will absolutely eat their babies, or find rocks attractive. You could really see any of those things happening on TikTok, couldn't you? Snapping turtles. Are they reptiles? Question mark. Yes, they are reptiles, but they will absolutely eat their babies. Now, do snapping turtles find rocks attractive? I don't know, but we didn't recently learn that on my TikTok. Do they make delightful noises? No, they don't. As far as I know, there's very little that is delightful about a snapping turtle. Very unfortunately. All right. Mere moments until the end of the quiz. Let's see where we are. Cass has moved ahead. Cass. Wow, exceptional. Regine, if you get bumped out of the top 5, I'm going to be so bummed. The beans. All right. Let's see what happens next. California has super thick plastic bags at grocery stores because of what regulation? They have to be compostable. They have to hold 20 pounds. Certain carcinogenic plastics are illegal, or they have to be reusable. Which is it? You learn this on my TikTok. If you watch enough of my TikTok. All right. Whoop. Yep. They have to be reusable. This is wild. So they said plastic bags have to be reusable in California. And so, or they said you can't use non-reusable bags at all, plastic bags. And so the stores were like, okay, what if we just sell plastic bags for 10 cents, but that can be used the amount of times that allows them to be reusable. And indeed, now they just will give you plastic bags, but they'll sell them for 10 cents a piece. And then they take way more plastic to make, but they are very reusable, and that can come in handy. Oof! Benedict Cumberbatch back in the top 5. Regine has held on to it. Cass is now first. Cass, I will give you a glimpse of what you're playing for. It's this stoned skiing Garfield. And then also I have these 2 identical Garfields. Maybe they're for the beans. Maybe they're for Regine. I don't know. Now I feel like I should send more to the top 5. All right, but let's find out what happens. 29 of 30. Why do some butterflies gather around the eyes of turtles? Because turtle eyes smell like sugar, because there's salt in turtle tears, because the eyes look like flowers to the butterflies. Here it comes. 111. Still playing, still working, still going for it. It's because there's salt in the turtle tears. They suck up those turtle tear salt. And this happens in places where there's very few minerals in the soil, like places where it rains a whole lot. In the Amazon, for example. And so you need the salt to accumulate somewhere for the animals to get it. And so they'll go after any source of salt, including the tears of turtles. That changed nothing. All of the top 5 got that one right. But now we're going to mix it up for the last question and see what happens. What could it be? Wait, what?
Hank, I just want to say the winners, make sure to email laser@complexly.com so that you can get your prizes. Let's
do it. Laser, Laser, I think. Oh, multi-select. How many catfish can you fit in a minivan according to Hake and Jada? Oh, I thought I don't know I don't know how this is gonna work. 7, 2 million, 25, or hundreds. I misunderstood how the multi-select worked. I thought that you could just pick one and then it would make it right no matter which one you picked. But we'll see. Maybe that is indeed how it works. I think that's how it works. And the answer is all of the above. There was no way to get that one wrong because, as we discussed, if they are very large and you want to fit into the car the way that normal catfish do, about 7. If they're normal sized, hundreds. If they're very big and you're going to fit as many as you can in, like just pack it full, maybe up 25. And if they're tiny, if they're like babies or eggs, then millions. So the answer is all of the above, which is very science communicator way of answering that question, just as a topic for discussion rather than trying to actually answer the question. But does that change things for us at all? Maybe. Oh, it does it. Number 3, the beans. The beans pulled it out. Regine in second. Is it Cass? It is Cass Phone. Congratulations to our top winners. Our runners-up are Micah and Andy, I think it said, which is wild because I feel like Micah was not on that list earlier. But congratulations to the Beads and Cass and Regine. I'm so pleased to be sending you. Cass, you're going to get this stoned Garfield, and then you two will get these beautiful, and I'll take these to Laser so that he can send them to you. To the 3 of you, please email laser@complexly.com And to the rest of you, thank you so much for playing. I had a good old time. This is congratulations, Dr. Phone. Oh, you thought you could only pick one answer. Oh, sorry. Yes.
Oh, I was just going to say, this is the end of the Learnathon. We have a playlist of all the videos that have been happening, including some behind the scenes chats with the people who make the videos here at Complexly and the podcast. There's also Hank is wearing a cool shirt, which you can get only from the Learnathon. We're going to keep the donations open through the weekend, but if you want this cool shirt, go ahead and do it. Thank you for running this trivia, Hank.
Yeah, thank you for helping write the trivia, Laser. Let's be honest about who did the work. You probably did more than me. We did it together.
As a team. Thank you so much.
Everybody. And thank you, everybody, for your donations and for supporting the work that Complexly does. And thank you to everybody at Complexly for doing the work that you do, which is very good and hard. And I am proud to work with you.
Amazing. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.